Hey guys, it's Kate and I'm here with another layout using the June Hip Kit. So for this layout, I decided to use a piece of 12 by 12 watercolor paper, and at first I thought I was going to cut it down and use the gray cardstock as a background, but then I decided that I wasn't sure if I liked that, so that I better go ahead and cut another piece of 12 by 12, and that way then if I wanted to cut it down later I could, and if I didn't I could leave it whole. So this is just a watercolor paper pad that I got from a local craft store. Uh, so I've taken a few pieces of the pattern paper, October Afternoon and Studio Calico, and cut it down um, to mat my photo, and then I'm just marking where that mat is because I'm going to use my watercolors to create kind of like a frame around it. And I have some clean water and then some not clean water because I was testing what watercolor medium I wanted to use, which one had the best gray. I tried gelatos and Neocolors and Peerless, and then these little cheapo ones from Michaels had the best gray, so that's what I went with. So I go ahead and wet the paper first with the water, just because it controls where the color goes, and then I go back in with the gray. And I don't need to worry about the middle or anything because, like I said, it's just a frame. So I'm just testing to make sure that everything is covered, and I'm going to speed this process along by using my heat tool here. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of pushing all the excess water into the middle and then dabbing it up, because if I put that cloth and dab it, it pulls the color off. So I only want to do that in the middle where you can't see it because I want to keep the color on the outside. I'm sorry if you can hear the guitar. My husband's playing guitar. You might hear some singing too. But anyway, so I'm just kind of speeding this along, and I'm making sure that the time I spend drying the front of the paper, I spend drying the back of the paper too, because that keeps it kind of flat. So now I am ready to start embellishing, I guess you could say. And I feel like it needs some kind of grounding at the bottom of the layout, so I'm just going to take some strips of pattern paper, the same pattern papers that I use to mat the photo, to create some grounding at the bottom of the layout. So this gray cardstock I'm going to use, which I didn't actually use as a mat, but I just thought it would be nice. And then the October Afternoon kind of chevron paper, and then the Studio Calico paper, the one side is the red and the other side is that kind of wood grain. So I'm watching YouTube videos, so I'm just putting on a new video here to watch. I think it's Mercy Tierra. And I'm just putting down that gray first, and then I'm going to add a strip of the kind of chevron-y and a strip of the red. So I feel like that's a really good thing to, like, trick to have, is whenever you have like kind of a floating focal point, and this one literally does look like it's floating because it's on that watercolor background. If you put some strips of paper at the bottom, it kind of grounds it, I think. And you could put strips at the top too. I would just do thinner strips, but I think I just end up putting one little piece at the top. So this layout was actually pretty quick. It took me 39 minutes to make this layout, which is very, very fast for me. And the only thing I did ahead of time was to test my watercolors and to pick the papers that I wanted to mat the photograph with. So that didn't take very long at all. And I find that there are several different shades of gray. And you have to test them because some are blue gray, some are warm, some are cool. I mean, it's just, there's so many different colors. So I just matted that crepe paper frame onto one of the October Afternoon little like 3x3 squares. And now I'm just going through some of the embellishments, and I do fuss quite a bit with embellishing this layout. Like, I go through several different options here. Okay, sorry, I had an interruption. I think I was talking about how much I fussed with the embellishments on this layout, and I really did. I went through several different options. I was having a hard time because I had a lot of ideas on a lot of things that I wanted to use, and it just seemed like it got too cluttered or something. I don't know. I'm not sure. You know what my problem is? I have a hard time when I have too many good options. That's my problem. So I try to like narrow it down by color. I think if you've been watching my videos using this kit, I've been trying to focus on like 2 colors. And the problem is, is that there's so many embellishments always in the colors that I pick. Like I try to make it easier on myself, and then I'm like, the kits are so full of stuff that I'm like, wow, I still have 10,000 options. So I pulled out this fork from an Amy Tangerine sticker sheet from a previous kit because we went to go eat lunch in this little town in Mississippi called Ocean Springs. It has a really cute downtown area. So I thought I was going to use that. I didn't end up using it, but this picture is of this drugstore. It's like an old school drugstore that has like a soda fountain and everything inside. It's really neat. And I just really loved the sign. And I also have a picture of it's on like a corner, and the wall has like the name painted on it. It's just really neat. So I wanted to document it, and I thought about using that fork, but I didn't. So whenever I struggle, y'all probably know this with embellishing, I just go to the title. So I just put the title. I love these stickers. I'm going to have to get some more because I'm pretty much going through them. And I'm just kind of fiddling with placement here. And what I did was I aligned the top part of the thicker, like in the O where the outline is, or in the E where the top line is, with the paper. So it doesn't look like it's so floating. It kind of looks grounded because a little bit of it is on the pattern paper. So I'm going to go ahead and stick down this frame. I've really been trying to use this frame. I've put it on a couple of different layouts and ended up pulling it off, but I am going to use it. And then I think I'm going to put, I'm putting some pop dots underneath it just to make sure that it stays, because it has been stuck down and pulled off a few layouts. I'm going to go ahead and work on the upper left-hand corner now. I think cutting a little strip of this chevron paper. I think I do realize that I'm out of frame here. And then I'm just using one of these little October afternoon. It says "so cool," which I thought was perfect. I'm going to cut that down just a little bit because it was too long. And now I'm just going through some chipboard to see if there's anything that I want to use. Again, just fussing with embellishments. And I go ahead and stick that wonderful down on the bottom right hand side, and you'll see all of this in the final pictures. I'm taking this little, I love the October afternoon ephemera, I've said this before, because one side of it will have printing or like words on it, and the other side will be blank. So I can't remember what the other side of this says, but I loved that half white, half red, and then I put that road trip over it because this was in Mississippi and I live in Alabama, so we did actually road trip. It's not really a road trip, but you know, it involves some driving. So I put this little geotag down here, which I really like, but I'm going to end up changing that actually. I was just going through these little cut aparts to see if I could cut any of those images out to use. Looking through the stamps, and I'm going to put some of these buttons down, but that's going to change also. It just got a little too, like I said, it got a little too busy. I feel like this was one of those layouts where you either like totally commit to a ton of embellishment, or you pull back and just focus on some really key things. And when you try to do in the middle, which is where I am right now, it just gets a little unbalanced and just, it doesn't look finished, I don't think. I think it just looks kind of in an in-between stage. So what I do is I just pull these up and I decide to swap it for this arrow, which I really love, this chipboard arrow, and I think that really works well with the rest of the layout. I'm also going to take one of the Heidi Swap stencils from last month's kit, the one with the lines in it, and use that to create some journaling lines on the bottom left-hand side, and you'll see that here in this photograph. And then I just hand wrote some journaling there, and that will finish up the layout for this week. So I hope you guys have enjoyed watching this, and if you subscribe to the Hip Kit Club, use the code CraftingKate to get a free pattern paper add-on. Make sure to head over to our Facebook page and the blog to check out next month's kit. It is fantastic. It is full of the new Chamel, the new crepe paper, notes and things. Awesome stuff. You don't want to miss it. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys real soon. Bye.